kill and scalp all. Nits make lice. These are the words of Colonel John M. Chivington after the Sand Creek Massacre, November 29, 1864. He said these words to justify the killing of Native American children at that massacre. As I said, it was November 29th, 1864. And this is a massacre that is not spoken of much in our history books. It's an ugly part of our history, but it is something that we need to know and understand what happened at the Sand Creek Massacre. Now, the main participants were Colonel John M. Chivington of the Colorado 3rd Volunteer Regiment. On the Native American side, you had Chief Black Kettle, White Antelope, One Eye, Yellow Wolf, Big Man, Bear Man, War Bonnet, Spotted Crow, Bear Robe, and others such as Graybeard, aka Wolf Gray, and Little Bear. You also had Captain Silas Soule and Lieutenant Joseph Kramer. These were the main participants. Now, Captain Soule and Lieutenant Kramer did not participate. They refused to order their men into this massacre and testified against Colonel Chivington and the rest of the Colorado 3rd. Now, the events, Colonel Chivington and his Colorado 3rd Regiment attacked the peaceful settlement on Sand Creek that was being led by Black Kettle. They were Peaceful Cheyenne and Arapaho. Chivington, a former Methodist minister, was looking for glory. He felt that he was not being well used during the Civil War, and the 3rd Regiment was being called the Bloodless 3rd. Now, Chivington had a major streak of racism against the Native Americans. Like I said in the opening quote, scalp all, nits make lice. He wanted them eradicated, and that was his mission at Sand Creek. Now, Chivington, during this massacre, did not try to stop his soldiers from committing atrocities, such as raping the Native American women, cutting the fetuses out of pregnant women, taking young children and babies by their feet and smashing them against hard objects until they were dead. Some of his soldiers used some of the children as target practice. And these are events that were brought up in later trials and hearings by Congress. They did disavow and condemn Chivington's actions, but by the time the hearings had proceeded and concluded, Chivington was once again a civilian and was not punished for any of his actions at Sand Creek. Now, One of the reasons I'm discussing Sand Creek, again, it is something that is not talked about in our history books. I have a great affinity for the Native American culture. And this is something that I believe needs to be brought into light. It is an event that cannot be swept under the rug, cannot be covered up. These were atrocities that were committed and have to be known. So, once again, many of the soldiers at Sand Creek, like I said, committed some very heinous atrocities, such as the raping of the women again, the removal of the fetuses from pregnant women. They removed some of the men's scrotums and made them into tobacco pouches. Some of them cut the women's sexual organs out, stretched them, and used them as hat bands. They took trophies. They took scalps. And they reveled in what they did. And this is not something that we should be proud of. It is something that has to be condemned. But I don't want this to sound harsh. Yes, it was an evil. It was an atrocity. We need to learn it. But we should not be made to feel guilty for what people we have no control over and who are no longer living have done. We were not alive. We were not there. We were not responsible. Those that were responsible are gone. What we need to do is acknowledge what has been done in our past, learn from our past, and not repeat it. We need to come together as human beings, as a human race, as one human race, not divided by skin color, culture, or any of those factors that many want to separate us into. We are a single human race. Every one of us belong to it. Now, some of the things that happened after Chivington's massacre. As I said, he was brought up on charges, but by the time he went through the hearings, Congress finished, he was not held responsible. Now, Chief Blackkettle's was a peaceful member of the Cheyenne Nation. In front of his lodge during this massacre, he was flying an American flag and a white flag of peace. He truly wanted peace with the whites. Unfortunately, in 1868, Blackkettle lost his life at the massacre of the Washita that was led by Colonel George Armstrong Custer. And that is an event I will talk about at a later video. As I said, these are events that we have to remember. We have to learn from. And we have to make sure and not repeat. Many of the feelings and the racism of that day is still being shown today. And that is something that we have to try and overcome. As I said, we are all human beings. We are all members of the human race. We all bleed the same. And this is something that we have to try and come together as a human race. Or if we don't, as a human race, we will fail and we will fall. This has been a very serious video and a very serious topic to me. Now, the next one will also be another instance of a massacre, again, on the Washita in 1868, led by General George Armstrong Custer. So I hope you will tune in and check out that video and check out some of my others. Until the next time, see you on the trail.